When it's time to scale your business, it's time for Shopify. Get everything you need to grow the way you want. Like, all the way. Stack more sales with the best converting checkout on the planet. Track your cha-chings from every channel, right in one spot. And turn real-time reporting into big-time opportunities. Take your business to a whole new level. Switch to Shopify. Start your free trial today.
This episode is brought to you by Starbucks.
That is fire.
Whoa, that's good.
This might be the drink of the summer.
Okay, I like this one too. I'm rocking with it, okay?
Try it for yourself. Starbucks Refreshers Concentrates are coming home. Find them in the coffee aisle and make it yours.
For the moments that matter, choose Curad Naturals. Infused with aloe vera and vitamin E, Curad Naturals bandages protect your unexpected scrapes, cuts, and burns while also moisturizing your skin. Find deeper relief with natural ingredients you can trust to start the healing. When life's surprises call for the best, choose Curad, a deeper level of care. Shop the full collection on Amazon or visit Curad.com to learn more.
This is the Rumors Are True podcast, brought to you by Pantheon Media Network.
This is Danny Papa from Element 101, and you are listening to the Rumors Are True podcast.
Welcome, this is Jeremy Allen Gould, and I'm coming to you today to confirm between God and of man that the rumors you have all heard are true. I started this podcast to have a platform for the bands and artists that I've worked with in the past, as well as new musicians and artists that influenced myself and many others. The Rumors Are True podcast is an opportunity for the artists to tell their story their way. I'm still in the business of confirming rumors. I still love a good conversation, and I still freaking love music. So thanks again for joining me on this journey, and I hope you like what you hear. With that said, the rumors are definitely true. Hey, welcome to this latest episode of the Rumors Are True podcast. My name is Jeremy, and today I welcome my friend Ryan Rado. You know Ryan from the Make It Perfect podcast, as well as his management over the years with bands like As Cities Burn, Joan Zeta, 12 Gauge Valentine, Life in Your Way, and various other artists he's worked with over the years. Incredible conversation with Ryan. Super honored to have him on the podcast. Such a great friend and an awesome dude overall. So I hope you enjoy this latest episode with Ryan Rado. Ryan, what is up, my friend? Thank you so much for hanging out with me, man.
Yeah, dude.
Heck
We made it.
Yes, we did. We've been talking about this for a while. I'm really stoked to finally talk to you on the podcast.
Thanks,
I know
dude.
we've hung
Thanks.
out quite a few times, and we've known each other for quite a while. So super stoked to hear your journey, man.
Let's hit it.
Tis
a journey. Where are you at?
I'm
You
in
at home?
Jacksonville. Been here
Tight.
for, I don't know, 14 years, 15 years, something. I mean,
Wait,
I grew
from
up
where
here.
before?
What's that?
Okay.
Yeah, I lived
living?
here.
Yeah.
I grew up here and then moved away and moved back. But
Where'd you go?
Wichita. That's where I was booking shows. So that's where I was booking ACB.
Did you have shows? Did you have shows in a car garage?
No, but I know what you're talking about because you were.
Is that in Nebraska?
No, that's in Wichita, and it was called Eternal
Okay.
Speed and Iron, I think is what it was called. And
Maybe that's where we met, dog.
Yeah, maybe because I know ACB played there before I booked them, and I was at that show.
Yeah,
so I definitely remember
Crazy.
that. Yeah, that is
was
wild.
Cool. That was a pretty cool spot,
dude. What's going on? Tell me what's new in your world.
Man, I feel like I've been running on empty a little lately. That's truth, but it's just how it goes, up and down, left and right. But I am, what else has been going on? I was out in the Pacific Northwest there for a couple weeks doing, I did deliver a couple paintings out there and did some plein air painting in different spots. It was kind of fun. Just tried to dip off the beaten path and paint for like 20 minutes and just let it be what it is. It was a lot of fun. It was good.
That's awesome, man. How's Nashville treating you?
Yeah. Oh, dude. I'm neg on Nash, dude.
You don't like
time.
it?
But no.
Bro, why? Tell me. Granted, I was only there for 3 days, but I was like, this city rules.
It's kind of like Miami, man. I'll go to Miami for a week and be so stoked. But if I lived in Miami, I would not be stoked. It's just changed quite a bit, and I'm down for that. But it's like, it's just become a little more glazed, plasticky version of what it was, It's all good. It is. I mean, I'm just one cell in the sea. So it's like I can either be pissed about it or just lock in, which I'm trying. I do both. I oscillate, dude. You know what I mean?
Totally. So, have you ever thought about moving anywhere?
I have, man, but I don't know where I'd go. Maybe Chattanooga. I really dig
I love
it.
Chattanooga.
Slower there,
Yeah.
So good, man.
Yeah, and they have great shows there too, which is crazy.
Yeah, straight up. Gum, you know that band Gum?
I've heard of that band,
Heard them?
Yeah.
Good band. They're from there.
Oh, really?
Good,
I didn't realize that.
Punk band, yeah.
Doesn't
Good
Chad
band.
Johnson live there too?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's cool.
Chatty Daddy.
That's
you going to Furnace Fest this year? What's the deal?
I don't know, man. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on timing and work and it seems cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if I only know maybe like
Different
10 of
vibe.
the bands, but Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to make it perfect over there again. Which is a lot of fun.
Dude, I love that you do that there. Yeah. That's really cool.
Thanks.
That's
it's good. It's just I like going, let me prop this up a little bit. I like going to festivals where I have a purpose rather than just like meandering. Good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
My green kitchen, man. Sick.
Dude, love it. So let's talk about growing up for you, man. Kind of bring me through some of the bands and the records and kind of just push you in the direction you went in.
Well, I think from early on, it was like Michael Jackson, and I would watch him. God, what do you got? What are you drinking? Diet Coke? Coke? What is it?
Coke Zero, dog.
Yeah, that's the shit nowadays.
Yeah.
I had someone specifically tell me that they stopped to get a Coke Zero. I'm like, why didn't you just say a pop or a soda? You don't have to say Coke Zero.
Well, they want to know. They want you to know they're on a journey, a weight loss journey.
Yeah, like you got no. Oh, that's probably it. Oh, well, that makes sense now. That's pretty good. Anyway, so Michael Jackson, I remember being 7 years old, watching him perform at the American Music Awards, or whatever that was. And he busted out that moonwalk with that glove. And I was just like, I like that. I want to do that. But he was sick, but still is. And Smashing Pumpkins, dude. I mean, before that it was gangster rap. I love that shit so much. God damn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. NWA, Eazy-E,
bro.
I mean, Kool Moe Dee is not really gangster rap, but all that stuff, love it. late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
But then when I was a sophomore in high school, I heard the Smashing Pumpkins for the first time. My buddy Ryan, we were at his house, and he goes, "All right, listen to this whole tape and don't come out of this room until you're done."
I love that.
Fuck, dude. So I put the tape in, listened to it, and I was like, what the fuck? And from that moment, I quit every sport I was playing. I stopped listening to any rap. Siamese Dream.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Yeah. And then that's all I listened to. It's all I listened to, man.
Dude,
oh my God.
I was in that hardcore world at that point, and I was like, I'm not listening to major label stuff. I'm not listening to alternative.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, I was living in Lakeland, and a friend of mine's like, go see the Pumpkins. They were randomly playing in Lakeland instead in between Tampa and Orlando. And I was like, all right. I bought tickets the day of the show, got 10th row tickets, and that show frizzled my brain, dude. Like I was like,
cool. Yeah, what year was that? What 90, record was that?
It was the Melancholy tour, but it was like the second leg.
Right.
So it was, they did that for like almost 2 years. So I would say 97, 98, kind of like that. But
cool.
It changed my world. Dude. Like I was like,
that's awesome.
I guess I can like major label bands. You know, it's like it was so stupid.
Dude, I went the other way. I went listening to all the major label stuff, like 9 Inch Nails and all that 90s stuff. You know? And then I heard. I did some missionary dating when I worked at Howell Taco Bell in Michigan, and I met this girl named Natalie, and just loved her, dude. And I was like, oh, wow, she's actually nice to me. This girl likes me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then she invited me to church, and I'm like, I'll do anything, you know? So I fucking started going to this church and started listening to, it was DC Talk, the first group I heard that was Christian. And I was like, Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette, and DC Talk came out the same time, or at least I came into them the same time. And I remember having that evangelical split in my head of like, bad, good, bad. I'm like, this is better, but this is what they're telling me I need to listen to.
I know.
But I'm good buds with Kevin Max. I don't know if you talk to him at all.
Here and there
he's
we
fucking
have.
wild, dude.
Yeah, dude.
The wild guy. But I had to make a decision, dude. And so the group was headed in the direction of DC Talk. And then I realized how good it was, man. Like that Jesus Freak record is fucking crazy. Record. But then after that, I started going down the rabbit hole. And the one that got me really into punk was 5 Iron Frenzy.
Nice.
And I listened to 5 Iron Frenzy all the time. Like as much as I was listening to Smashing Pumpkins. And then I started listening to all that Christian hardcore and punk. And then I would go to the Shelter in Detroit. I saw Grade play there. I saw Boy Sets Fire. And I was like, oh, this is on. So I went way down the hole of like being a pious fucking punk hardcore kid. Fuck all the major labels. But I'm back now, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm all about it now. It's so weird how that whole 90s like the piracy of it all, if that's even a word, but the piracy. I get it. I totally was like, why would I like this? I have to like the underground stuff. Now it's like, I don't care. It's pretty dope.
Just give me something that has heart.
Hey, this is Jeremy with the Rumors Are True podcast. We'll pause for a word from our sponsors. Stick around. You don't want to miss what's next.
With the new Toyota all-electric family, you get to choose between the versatile BZ, the adventurous BZ Woodland, or the sporty CHR. If only choosing music was this easy. Toyota's new all-electric family. There's nothing left to think about.
What's that like knowing K-Max from DC Talk? What was that? I mean, I've talked to him here and there.
Oh, he's a trip, dude.
But like think about that. You grow up listening, loving that, and now you're like friends with him. What's that like?
It's fucking crazy, man. He
paints too, doesn't he?
It's cool. You know, what'd you say?
He paints too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he paints. Yep. Yeah. I think that's how we got connected was through painting and stuff. And I mean, all the conversations I've had with Kevin have been awesome, you know. And I appreciate that he's the one out of that group that like to me went the way of
art.
Well, yeah, he took, and you know, Toby Mac, he'd come into Whole Foods all the time when I worked there. Super nice to me. I had deep, you know, some deep conversations with him, and because if you're talking to me, it's gonna go that way at some point, you know.
Sure.
So like, he's awesome, but I feel like Kevin took that, has like that. What am I trying to say? Like that Baroque.
Yeah.
Painter, eclectic artist type.
Absolutely.
That's the road he went, you know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I listened back. There's one part on Jesus Freak. I've told him this, where his vocal is, he just goes, yeah. And that's my favorite part in that whole fucking song. It always has been. I was like, that's my favorite part.
That's incredible.
Dude, when you say, yeah.
Dude,
I
remember seeing him wear a prayer chain shirt or something like that. And at the time I was
makes sense.
I guess he is cool. Like in my mind, you know, it sounds stupid, but like I guess in my heart, you know, always liked them, but it was like, you know, do I like DC Talk? But then I was like, whoa, he's actually into good music. That's pretty freaking cool.
I am.
But that's awesome, man. What's
cool.
What are you listening to currently? What's some records you're into lately?
Let me look at my Spotify guy. Let me see what's on here, dude. Well, Peppa Pig, because my 5-year-old is so into that. I've been listening to this band called Saltine. You ever heard of them?
I haven't.
They're the dude from Bloomsday.
Oh, what?
It was a band he had. Yeah. What's that?
I said what? I love Bloomsday.
Yeah, same. Whichever. I think the guy that sings and plays guitar, I'm not sure on their personnel, but like he had a band briefly in around 2000 called Saltine with the singer of the Posies.
Oh my gosh.
And this is the thing. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I see it. I just looked it up. Oh my God, I'm going to be obsessed with it, I think.
So here it is. But the song that's on there for me is the second one, Reveal Love. So I've been listening to that over and over and over. My buddy Isaac in Eugene, Oregon, tipped me off to that. I've been listening to the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Dude,
radio.
You're still a rude boy. Rude boy.
Dude, makes me happy, dude. I'm trying to just not listen to heavy stuff, but
I get it.
It's cool. But I've Alkaline Trio. I've been trying to get into that. I've been trying to get into bands that I never got into. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
And just see why I didn't get into them. So I've been listening to Alkaline Trio quite a bit.
Dude, they're great. Great band.
Yeah.
I've never been a huge punk fan, but I enjoy their stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think the bass player lives in St. Augustine, which isn't too far from me, which is
nice.
I've heard it's pretty cool. Cool. And a little side note, Tim Burton, the trumpet player from Boss Tones, trumpet or sax, I don't know. He lived in Jacksonville. Yeah, his name's Tim Burton.
Oh, great.
Yeah, he lived in Jacksonville, and he's really super cool and super sweet. And he used to have this podcast, which was really cool. But yeah, man, that's really cool. I've always liked the Boss Tones, just kind of in the background of, I never was a ska person, but Five Iron and Supertones and Boss Tones and all that. I kind of was like, I'm into this. I'm not against it. But yeah, man, dude. That's cool. I love discovering older stuff that I missed too, especially with Spotify or Apple Music, whatever you use. You're like, oh, I want to see what all the rage was about. And dude,
a bunch of my friends liked them, and I'm just like, why didn't I really like them? You know what I mean? Wow.
I can relate to that for sure. Let's talk about your bands, man. I know you kind of wound up doing some bands at that time, in your younger days. And let's start out with Colson. I know you guys just recently reunited to play with Celebrity and Tin Killer, which I'm sure that was an incredible show.
Oh, yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, bring me through Colson. Our mutual friend Ben Christ was in as well with you. And bring me through what that was like starting that band and being a part of that.
Man, I always wanted to, I was always like a helper to bands. And when I moved to Nashville, I was like, I want to play in a band. So I met Ben. Ben was the first person that I met in Nashville. And so he and I we're still great friends, like you mentioned. So it's like, we decided to start a band and we hung out at Belmont University. He went there everybody went there, and one guy went to Vanderbilt, but I just hung out at Belmont because there were like,
Sure.
there was like food, people that were into music and stuff like that. But so we just started this emo band, dude, and played some shows and went on a tour to Michigan for one show. It was sick. Played in Flint, Michigan, man.
I freaking love
And
that.
it was funny. And there was a tour video, but that tour video is gone. I don't know where it is. I wish we could. There's probably some incriminating stuff on there, but yeah, we didn't last very long. It just wasn't a thing. But we had a good time. Made some T-shirts. Made
That's
some songs.
pretty cool.
But yeah, and then we play every like 6 to 7 years, and this time we played with Celebrity because it was like they're doing that reunion, and we were all around back in the day, and everybody was pretty stoked to do that. So I think going at the end of this year, we're talking about re-recording the songs we made,
cool.
and then writing a couple new ones just for fun. So that might happen.
I know you said you didn't ever really go far, but did you guys talk to any labels at all, or was it not even that far?
Nah, not really. I mean, we played some pretty fucking cool shows. Played with Trail of Dead, played with Open Hand, played with
great band.
Taking Back Sunday way back in the day. Trying to think of who else. Noise Ratchet, played with Noise Ratchet a bunch. Yeah, it was fun. Beautiful Mistake and all that stuff. It was good.
That's awesome.
It was fun. Dude.
I would love to hear it,
man. I fucking miss it.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I'm sure that's exhilarating. Obviously, being in a band and just creating. You're a creator of all sorts. So I think that's really awesome that you got an opportunity to do that. I would love to hear the music. I hope you guys do record it. I'd be down to hear it.
Too.
Sick, dude. Well, then after that was Ill Patriot. I remember that band name, and I remember back in the day. Yeah, kind of bring me through that. Yeah,
that was like that was with Perry Bean and who else was in the Russ Hickman was in that.
Oh, I know Russ.
Our buddy Adam.
Yeah.
And then Adam Tanaka drummed in that, and then our buddy Taylor joined the band after a little bit. We had a lot of energy and a lot of gumption. But I don't know. It just seemed the band went on after I quit. I quit after a tour, like an East Coast tour, and I was just like, it's not my vibe anymore. So we did one tour with Under Oath that was like,
oh wow,
maybe like 5 or 6 shows. It was awesome. It was like in Salt Lake City. I'll remember it was in the venue. That was the show that I like broke out of my stage fright. Like something snapped, and I was like, oh well, now I can do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was cool.
Absolutely, man.
But that was super fun. And then we recorded an EP called The New Collective Conscience, and that was there's like 4 songs on there and whatnot. And played a bunch of local shows. Played with Crime and Stereo back in the day. And played with other bands. And trying to think of what else we did. Oh, we fucking made a bunch of T-shirts at this printing company that I used to work at. We just went in there at night because they had a whole like overstock of all of these T-shirts they were never going to use, and we all just went in there, and they didn't know we went in there and printed all of our merch, all
incredible.
Of our fucking tour.
Damn the man!
I know, it was pretty fun, but then we got off of that and then did a that other tour in the East Coast, and then for me it was just something I didn't want to do anymore.
What kind of music was it?
It was like Rise Against and Strike Anywhere and stuff like that. It was cool. It was pretty high energy. It was fun, yeah. It was super political back in the day, and and like I don't know, it was like 2000. When did we do that? 2007 maybe, something like that. 8. I was just really into conspiracy theory and all that stuff, and libertarianism as it was, not as it is now. So that was what that band was a lot about.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Is that stuff on YouTube or anything? Or I would love to listen to
Might
that
be
as
on
well.
YouTube. I don't think it's on the parts that the songs that I was on. I don't think are on Spotify or anything like that.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to that.
I'll have to
Maybe
check
one
that
day.
out.
Yeah.
Bro, that's cool. Next band, Worker. I remember this too. Yeah, kind of bring me through Worker and what that experience was like.
Worker was sick. Like, that's the band that I can be like, I know that was probably the best thing I've ever done musically. And so I was playing in a band with some other buddies, and we were going to call it Controller, and it was heavy, but it was a little more not hardcore. It was a little more like Perfect Circle and Deftones and stuff like that. But then I met a guy named Alec Strickland, and I liked what he was writing, like guitar wise. And I was like, dude, we should try to do some stuff like this, like Rise Against again, like that. Cause I just love the energy of that early stuff. So we made an EP. It was called Find a Solution. And it was more of a punk situation, at that point. And depending on how you define punk, but right. So then we did that for a little while, played a bunch of shows, and started to, I feel like we had some influence on Nashville at least.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then, I wanted to go in a different direction, and we had brought another guitar player in, Luke Granarid. He's in Better Off and Twin Stacks.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah. So then we did that for a while, and then we brought another guitar player in named Brandon Keyser, and then we started going like heavier, and we tuned down to drop A and made a fucking sweet EP called Neurology. And
oh, nice.
It's sick, and that's not on Spotify either, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
and it's just super heavy, and but just couldn't sustain it.
Yeah.
And I quit the band, moved out to the country. We've talked about playing again. We probably will at some point.
That'd be cool.
Right now, it's just not happening.
Do you like you mentioned having that moment where you kind of just broke out of your shell? Do you like being on stage? Is it something you?
Oh, dude, it's the best shit ever, man. It's the best shit ever. And it's like, I like playing music more than I like painting, dude.
Really?
I mean, they're so different, but it's
Sure.
like, I don't know, playing music, it's just super intoxicating. It's wild, man.
Yeah.
It's wild. It blows my mind how anybody can like remain grounded.
Sure.
In some of that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
Totally.
The best thing.
Well, that's cool. I love that you got to be a part of those bands and a different form of artisticness, which is cool that you say that you like it more than painting, because I know you're fantastic at painting. So I think that's really cool that you revere it that way. And of course, you obviously love music, so it's like kind of incredible that you were a part of that.
Thanks.
Management, man. I think this is where you and I kind of met. Like you kind of mentioned earlier, you obviously managed some really great bands, As Cities Burn, Homies for sure, Joan Zeta, man. You mentioned 12 Gauge Valentine and Life in Your Way. What was this like? Kind of what brought you into the world of that, and kind of bring me through some of the highlights and the lowlights.
Yeah. When was that? That was 2000. I started that in 2004, maybe, working with As Cities Burn. I'm really good at like promoting other people's stuff and being like being a champion for that stuff. It's hard for me to promote my own stuff, which just gets exhausting. But so I heard of them through a guy named Nathan Thompson and Russ Hickman, back in the day. And then I went to see him at Lipscomb University, and I just didn't catch the wave. I wasn't into the guitar throwing and around the back and all that. It just wasn't my thing, But then I saw him maybe like a year later, and they'd put out a demo, and I was like, oh shit, this is killer. You know?
Absolutely.
And I got the demo and I listened to it, and it was super loose, man. It was like, it just had so much life, and it was it wasn't perfectly made. And I like the fact that it was like, it just had so much raw power to it.
Yeah.
And so then we talked at Wendy's on West End and just talked about doing some stuff together. And then, dude, again, managing what I was doing, it's a very loose term. Managing is a very loose term, because I think I was just more of like a connector.
Facilitator.
I handled a couple things. Yeah. And I connected these people with Tooth and Nail, and these people, those bands with Tooth and Nail, and namely Chad and stuff. And almost every band I took to him, they signed, which is really cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, so worked with them, and really what I wanted to do was just be on tour. I wanted to be gone. I didn't want to be in Nashville. I didn't want to just work a job. I just wanted to be gone on tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and before that, I did a tour with Noise Ratchet for a few weeks, and they were on tour with Switchfoot, and that was like 2002, 3. So that I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. You know? So then. Yeah, I just started managing them, and some of the highlights, man, it was like I felt good about facilitating their deal with Tooth and Nail. You know, like that was like, holy shit, like that was really a special thing. You know, and at that time, bands were getting signed for like 5 and 6 records. You know, and we made it so they had a 3-record deal, and you know everything else was pretty straightforward as it pertains to Tooth and Nail. But I was pretty proud of myself that we were able to do that 3-record deal. And just like, you know, being associated with such a creative group was good.
Absolutely.
You know? It kind of helped me realize that I might have some taste. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. I've told this before on the I had Colin on the podcast a couple years ago, and I remember the first time. Well, you and I mentioned kind of meeting at the other show that I didn't book, but I wound up booking them probably a year later or within the year or so. And the guy that was playing bass for him, I cannot remember his name, but he was just a fill-in. It wasn't Pascal.
Pascal?
No, it was somebody else. It was somebody else. But anyway,
was it Blake?
Maybe.
Might have been Blake.
Maybe.
Younger guy.
I'll never forget this, but we were standing outside, and I was like, oh, you know, I was introducing myself, or whatever, and he's like, I was like, how's the new record or whatever? He's like, well, I didn't play on it, but I've heard it. And he's like, I can tell you this record's going to change people's lives. And I remember that vividly. I know it's insane if you think about it, because, you know, I was like, you know, you could hear that all about a lot of stuff, but I was like, oh, that's really cool. And it's a vivid memory for me. And, you know, looking back, it's like, he was spot on. You know, man. It was a game changer record. You know, what, you know, from your viewpoint, what were your thoughts kind of on that explosion, I guess, and maybe that record overall, just from your perspective?
Yeah, I felt like I was out of my league once it started to take off, because I something about me, I have a really hard time discovering moves to make. Like I can get stoked on something and assist on some things, but when it comes to like business stuff, I don't have a business mind. I really don't, man. And I wish I did any more than like making a few connections and all that stuff, you know. But as far as like lucrative parts of, I mean, getting them signed was pretty lucrative, but I mean, forward managing admin stuff's really, really hard for me. So I was pretty out of my depth when that stuff started to take off. And so they brought Tim McTagg in to kind of help. Yeah. And I was, you know, at that point I was really insecure, and I was just like, you know, just my own paranoia and my own like, you know, you're bringing somebody else in, all the stuff that I can hear my dad talking in my mind, you know? And so they brought Tim in and, you know, communication back then isn't as easy as it was now, as it is now. And so I was like, I don't know if this is for me, and I don't know if it was because of the accountability or because I felt like I couldn't keep up or whatnot. So I just quit, and I definitely had some resentment, but it was like, I mean, whatever, what I'm saying? It was years ago. And then, like, I'm cool with those dudes, and I mean, we've had ups and downs since then, you know what I'm saying? And but I think those dudes are cool, and they make really good music, and they're also human beings, and
Absolutely.
They're fallible.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think a lot of times people don't realize that artists are just fucking weird, And
No,
it's
you're
like,
right.
how much do we expect from them, But as far as like as far as like the explosion of that, it was really neat to watch them go on tour after tour after tour and just build and build and build. And then you go to see them, and it's like there was such like anxiety and love in anticipation to watch them play, because the power they had was undeniable.
Absolutely.
Like undeniable.
Yeah.
And I remember being on the Youngbloods tour back in the day. It was with the Chariot, He Is Legend, Showbread, and Far Less. I remember that shit.
Yeah.
And we were in the Northeast in Maryland or something. And you go on a tour, nobody knows each other. Everybody's got their ego up and just like talking shit about bands, blah, blah, blah. It's just young insecurity stuff. But I remember after As Cities Burn played, there was this venue that had a checkered floor in there. And Scoggin came up to me and he was like, this band is special. And I'm like, I fucking know. I know. You know what I'm saying? And so he ended up producing that first record, and I think that they really nailed it.
Absolutely. I love that record. It's still, I mean, I love all their records, but that one's just magical.
Yeah.
Something about it.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh, my
artwork,
God.
everything about it is just like,
Mhm.
you can't really change much about it. That's cool though. I love, thanks for being vulnerable, by the way. I know that's difficult.
I don't, bro. That's
dude.
Yeah.
It really is. And the older you get, you're just like, I just don't even care anymore. I just want to be real, authentic, or whatever you want to say.
It's 1938. The 2-week pay period is invented. But then the world got faster. Faster travel, faster delivery, faster everything. Except our pay. Until now, with Daily Pay, everyone can access money they've earned when they need it. Yes, this is the future of pay. Daily Pay. Work with the leader in on-demand pay at dailypay.com. Transfer fee may apply.
Hey, this is Jeremy from the Rumors Are True podcast. Hang right there. Here's a word from our sponsors. Let's talk about Joan Zeta. That's another band, obviously, you worked with. Amazing band that just never went to where they should have been. I think they should have been so much bigger. Bring me through your time with them.
I'm not necessarily sure they should have been on Tooth and Nail, man. I think had they not been in the Christian scene, they may have had a different chance, But that, and also there was a lot of burden with that deal that I think went down. Tooth and Nail had never spent that much money on a new band before. It was something like $90,000 or something like that. And I remember I got $6,000 from that shit, and we worked on that shit for how many months? And I was like, I'm fucking rich. You know what I mean? Then I went out and bought 2 iPods, dude. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Then I had to pay my buddy back for a computer that he bought me. Again, man, we were all young, and I just wanted to be on tour again. I think if they had different management, they may have been able to make a bigger mark. And I still think I think we're all. I know Ty and I talk on Instagram here and there.
He's great.
I know. Yeah, he is killer.
You hooked me up with that interview, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, excellent. Cool.
Yeah,
good.
He's great.
He rules, man. He's just got so much heart. I think if I saw Robert now, I think it'd be totally fine. I know we had a little bit of
friction,
combustion there for a little while, and that makes sense. But that deal was maybe that was 3 records too. I'm not quite sure. And I had just people in my ear saying that certain band members needed to go because of image stuff at the label were telling me this. And I'm just like, what? This is not what I signed up for. You know? But I also understand even in that world that pertains, you know, and it is what it is. And so, you know, I just didn't know what to do for a band other than getting them signed. I knew how to do that. But I wish I knew more of how to work a band like that, you know? So they recorded here in town with a guy named Steve, and at that time I couldn't say no. I had a really hard time saying no. And especially to people that I perceived that I was indebted to. And I think they should have recorded with somebody else at that time. They made a cool record, but it wasn't as cool as it could be. And not I, had J.R. McNeely mix it, not the right guy to mix it. We did have Jakir King mix it, and he was taking it more in like a pop, more of a pop sound. He did Modest Mouse and a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
But I think I was so into tooth and nail, heavy, hardcore rock world that I was pretty heavy on this doesn't sound like they sound live, because they were heavy live. They were like they were fucking rock band, you know? And so, dare I say I fired Jakir King in the middle of him mixing. Oh my gosh. And I'm over here being like, I can't say no, but so then we went with J.R. McNeely, spent more money. And
wow,
I feel like had the recording process been a little different, it might have had a different turnout, and they needed someone to really, really, really manage them well. And I think there was some internal stuff happening in the band that made it a little difficult too. But my time managing bands was not cool. I just didn't feel confident enough that I was doing what I needed to do. And I'm not really good at faking stuff, you know? So it's like, and also I let my insecurities run me, you know, and I still do from time to time. But back then I was just like, I didn't know what I was doing, you know? And certain people did. And I did what I could. And I think, and I'm not doing poor me. It's just the deets of the story, you know what I'm saying? So
do you feel like looking back, if you were given that chance again, you would do things differently in terms of like, if you had a future career in that, is that something you would consider, or is that something that you're just like, I don't think this is my bag still?
No, I would not do it. No, I would not do that. I mean, it's hard to go back and say, would I or wouldn't I, but if I I wouldn't do that. I would try to find something different. I would do something different, but you know, I just love the energy in the music business. I used to love all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to somebody recently on my show and talking to them about the business aspect of music, and they're like, I love it. Like, I love it. And it was Zach Barnett. He was in that band American Authors. He was saying, I love it.
Great band.
You know, and I was like, I totally get it. Yeah, that's cool. It's cool that he can say he loves it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. But, I will say from my viewpoint, you know, you obviously were a part of two landmark bands for sure. And I'm not trying to cut out the other bands you've worked with, but I mean, you're talking about ACB and you're talking about Joan Zetta, who, you know, are revered and loved very much. So I love that you were a part of that and you facilitated that, and you deserve all that, a lot of that credit, you know, and, you know, I could completely relate to kind of being out of my element. Like, I definitely helped with bands and stuff, but I feel like at a certain point I was like, I don't even know where to go from here, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah. That's kind of it for sure.
Totally understand that. But man, if it weren't for you, these guys were not listening to these records, you know. I think that's really cool that you were a part of that.
True. Thanks, dude.
Just out of curiosity, that I know that Joan Zetta, like you mentioned, being such a high profile, you know, recording, you know, signing what was that difficult with Tooth and Nail? Was Brandon being, what was that like kind of facilitating that?
Was Brandon being,
I love Brandon. I'm just, was Brandon being, shrewd or what? I don't know.
Yeah. He's a lot of different things, and good for him. I was working with Chad mostly, and Chad's just, Chad is an enigma, and, man, I tear up thinking about Chad. That's wild. That is wild. Like he's just, and maybe he's been through the ringer, and maybe a different part of him is showing up now, but he's just overwhelmingly patient, and I love him, and always great. Have. And he really is. And, he really walked me through that. He knew that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know what I'm saying? But we got some shit done. And I think the value of the art that was presented to them and to him, and the value of the people making the art was just important to him. And I could tell, Brandon was just doing Brandon, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like, he's business guy. That's it, and he's got a huge boat, his huge ship to keep floating, So he just did what he did. He wasn't too involved in it. I know we went to dinner and shit. I remember when we went to dinner, we went to Chinook's in Seattle. And that was the first time I'd ever been to Seattle. And I ordered this teriyaki salmon. I was like, fuck, I made it. I made it. I'm peaking right now.
Give me my iPod.
Just let's order more, everybody. Not really realizing that we're paying for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's funny, but there was always like when for me, whenever I was at Tooth and Nail and Brandon would come in the room, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Brandon. You know what I'm saying? I just had that celebratory vibe with him, and he was, man, I can't think of a time he wasn't decent to me or cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Maybe there was, but didn't think about it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
A lot of stories about Brandon.
I know.
How many stories are out there about Brandon?
I know, dude. Dude, when I was a part of the, well, not a part of it per se, but the box set that came out, and I've told a couple people this, but I was texting with Brandon and just kind of, talking about it. And he just called me one day out of the blue. It was on a Sunday. And he was like, I'm at the Seahawks game with Randy Torres for Project 86. And he's like, I just wanted to talk. I'm like, I looked at my wife and I was like, I cannot believe this is happening right now. Like this is insane.
Yeah, totally, dude. Pretty funny.
Super
fucking funny, dude.
Super honored he even called me, but it was just like, so like 16-year-old me was like, oh my God, like this is, I totally can relate to what you're saying. Cause it's, he changed the game, and
for sure, dude.
I'm glad the game was changed for sure.
Love him or hate him, man.
Dude, I know. I'm a fan. I've been a big fan. I'll always be a fan. He's done so much in my life, at least, from that perspective.
I mean, how many fucking great records did he put?
Dude, I know.
You know what I'm saying? With a lot of help. But
I know.
Seriously.
He changed the game. The game, absolutely.
Big time.
Dude, let's talk about your painting, man. Absolutely love your stuff. I've always kind of, since we've known each other just from a distance, I'm not an artist by any means, but I absolutely love, what you've done and kind of, just the paintings and the whatever you've worked on. I think is just super creative and super awesome. Kind of bring me through your journey in the painting and in art overall.
Yeah. I never felt like, let me say this real quick. When I'm speaking about like the stuff about the way I perceive myself in my life, I've kind of caught the vibe sometimes that people take it as like poor me. And some of that is involved in that, but the interesting part about identifying and acknowledging the poor me is that you can realize that there's another aspect to your life that you're not really acknowledging, which is, well, shit, I did that. Like you mentioned with As City Burn and those records. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So when I speak about stuff that is a little more on the on the sadder side, it gets misconstrued as like poor me, and that's not what I'm doing. So I make sure to preface that before I go into this. So before I started painting, I didn't feel like I had much agency over my life. And I felt like I just didn't really have much purpose in my life, and, or even worth for that matter, you know? And so, there was nothing I did for myself. There was no real creative act other than writing. I would write, but there was no real creative act that I was performing for me. And so in 2014, I just randomly was helping my buddy screen print, and I saw the ink there, and there was a piece of wood, and I'm like, man, you could make some cool shit with this ink, right? Because we were, it was tactile, we're working with designs and visual stuff, and it was hotter than shit in there. And he was like, yeah, you could, but it won't dry unless you cure it. I'm like, oh, cool. So he goes, but I have all these acrylic paints in the back here that I took from this art store. I was like, oh, sick. So we went back there, and there was hundreds of dollars of really good paint. Like it's called Matisse paint. I don't know if they make it anymore. It's like a fuller body acrylic paint. So I was like, he goes, you can have it. I was like, whoa, crazy. So I just kind of put my finger and started, messing around on this piece of wood. And then I brought all that home. And from that point, literally for shit, dude, like 7 years, maybe, I was painting constantly. From that point, I just wouldn't stop painting. And I was working at Whole Foods and did other jobs, and I could not wait to get home to paint. And so it was so awesome because I made all the decisions there, and I just made these, whatever they were, I was doing something, And so in the beginning, I was like, oh shit, I could probably sell these. I could probably make a living off of this because I needed to at that point, And some of the painter purists are like, well, you just paint to paint. You don't worry about selling it and all that bullshit. I'm like, fuck that. I got to live, and I'm decent at this, so maybe I can do that. So, I just started painting and had my first show in 2015. And your first show, people are going to buy your paintings, because they're more inexpensive. And it was huge. It was really nice. I mean, I had 20 paintings in there. I sold 7 of those paintings. Holy shit, this is crazy, And so, so I just kept painting and painting. And then my wife at the time, Christina, and I moved out to a farm, and I had this huge studio in a barn, and it was in Summertown, Tennessee, and it was probably the loneliest I was ever in my life, living on this farm, painting alone. And there was people out there, but it was like such a different world, and it was in the butthole of Tennessee, just like country crazy shit. I would go to Walmart in Hohenwald, Tennessee, just to have interaction down there, and that's a wild place. But so I started painting there, and I started curating in Nashville, and I would drive an hour 45 to just do my work up in Nashville. And and then from there we moved to Columbia, Tennessee, where I had the awesome studio, and I made probably the best work of my life out there. And then we decided to get a divorce, and then after we were getting divorced, we found out she was pregnant, and then COVID hit, and then it was just like my life actually started,
Sure.
So that's what's going on, and with painting, and I love painting. I love painting. That's awesome, a time, man, where I really can dig in.
Do you feel like your son inspires you when you paint quite a bit?
Yeah, for sure. I think, I've painted him and not even realized that I painted him. And one time I was painting this, did a series of floral paintings, and I got done with it, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, that's definitely him looking up at me. And so I set it by the stairs. I was like, I don't know, he was like 2.5, maybe 3. And we came downstairs the next morning because I was going to ask him. I was like, hey, who's that painting? Who's in that painting, buddy? he came down. He goes, Harrison. Like he said his name. And I was
that's
like,
incredible.
fuck, yes. Like it was magical. And I was like I knew it. You know, when I finished it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's him. Is he going to be able to see that? And he did. And it was so wild, dude. And granted, it was so abstract and it was flowers and stuff. No one would ever catch that.
Yeah.
But he fucking caught it.
That's so rad, dude. That's amazing.
It stokes me out. Yeah,
is he artistic at all, or does he have any of that?
I'll show you. Look at this. Look at this. We just put this up yesterday, dude.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
We put all of his art from school on the wall.
Cool,
and we put it up there. Yeah, we put it up there together. And as we were doing it, he's like, Daddy, this is fun. And
oh,
like, yeah,
that's incredible,
so yeah,
man.
He does his thing. Yeah, he's cool. And he drums, dude. Drumming is his main shit. Like
that's amazing.
It's crazy how natural he is. He's 5 and it's just so neat to see, man.
Oh, that's so cool, man. I love that. That's cool. Beautiful. Like as a father myself, I definitely, you know, when you have those moments where your kids obviously make you proud and that aspect that you don't expect, or you're like, whoa, this is incredible. Like
totally out of nowhere. It's like, holy shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can relate to that for sure.
It's cool.
That's awesome, man. Beautiful. I love that. Well, like I said, I've loved all the stuff you've ever posted, and super stoked that you have that outlet for sure. And, you know, made yourself a living from it. It's incredible. Let's talk about the podcast. Make It Perfect, which is, you know, kind of a combination of podcast and painting, and love it. Yeah. You've had some incredible artists on there. Kind of bring me through the beginning of the podcast for you and what inspired that, and kind of some of those highlights as well.
Yeah. So do you know Roman Haviland? He played in Maylene long time ago.
Red hair bass player guy. Name. Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking one day or something. I don't know. Maybe we were texting, and he said, you should have a podcast where you paint with people. At that time, I was like, nah, you know. But then I saw Dave Portnoy do pizza reviews, One Bite pizza reviews.
Yes, love them.
And I just got locked into that shit, and I was just like, oh, I could do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could do something like this, and then I revisited Roman's idea. I was like, shit, well, let's do it. And so I had a buddy named Luke that lived down in Columbia, and he wanted to do some video stuff. So I was like, dude, why don't we do this? And he's like, okay. So we just started doing it. And we were doing it, then divorce, pregnancy, COVID happened, and then it just kind of fell off for a while. But in 2024, maybe, my buddy Isaac, we started talking, and I told him I wanted to start it again. He goes, dude, well, why don't you come out to Pacific Northwest and we'll just book a bunch of episodes, you know? And so I got my buddy Gabe, who does video stuff here, to come with me. And we just did a bunch of episodes, you know, and we just started it going. And then I ran into my buddy Keegan, who owns Lotus Building Group here in town. And he and I used to work at Whole Foods, ran into him at Furnace Fest a couple of years ago. And we hadn't seen each other in a while. Always been super cool. And the work he's making with Lotus is like real high-end custom everything built almost by hand homes. It's just so wonderfully beautiful. And he's such a talented motherfucker. Like, it blows my mind. And his endurance is inspiring. And the way he deals with people is teaching me to
sure.
I'm learning how to work with people better. But anyway, so he's like, you know, there's a ton of people here, and we've run into each other like eight or nine times, whatever he said, you know. And he's like, I look at stuff like that, and that stuff's important. So then we started talking, and I told him about Make It Perfect, and then we decided to become partners. And so he has a pretty big hand in Make It Perfect, and it's happening. And so I do art curation for his homes, and we're going to start working together more on
that's rad,
on different aspects of what he does too. So it's really cool. So Make It Perfect is like people have said it's like a Hot Ones, but painting, you know?
Yeah.
And I've had some wild guests on there, man. And it's crazy to me. and I'm really asking them questions about them. And some of these guests, I don't know much about what they do. Like I had Justin Pearson on there. He was in the Locust, and he does a lot of other stuff. And I don't listen to the Locust. I don't know much about what Justin does. And so I get to experience the person outside of the persona and the art and the identity, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to know what else is there regardless of what they do for a job, you know? And so that's really important to me when I talk to people. I want to know what's not being seen, you know what I'm saying? What's not being revealed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that desire in me comes from having Tourette syndrome, where a lot of things are just being revealed and I can't stop it, you know?
Sure.
And so it's like because we all have tics of some kind, and I'm like, yo, you don't have to hide your tics. That's a pretty good fucking t-shirt. Can be taken a couple different ways if you mishear it, but it's but I think I want to know who people are under the mask, you know?
Yeah.
And some people want that, some people don't, but the people who've been on my show, there's, you know, every time they leave, they're like, this, I've never done anything like this.
That's
and I
really
know that
cool.
Stuff like that exists, painting and talking, but not the way that I do it. And I know that for a fact. So we're going to keep going. And it's hard painting and talking and keeping it going. Like keeping a podcast going, you know, it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Who are you under the mask?
Me. Yeah, that's great. I think I'm I don't know if I know, I don't know if I actually know how to love people. I think I'm realizing that now. I think I have a lot of resentment. And I let that run my life a lot because I feel like I wish I knew how to let things go better, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm shittier in my mind than people might think I am. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I'm a pretty jealous person as far as like success is concerned. But I also know that I'm a really gentle person too, you know? And, and so I think a mask that I wear is, man, everything I say, I think is like, I feel like I'm a little too hard on myself a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So I think I kind of ride that as humility, but I don't necessarily know if that's the case. So I'm trying to just not be as hard on myself. That's the best answer I can give you.
Dude, no, that's intense. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude.
Nobody on your podcast saying that. You know? Okay.
It's
okay.
pretty incredible that you would dive that deep, though. I really appreciate you doing that. And I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I just thought of that. I was like,
it's okay.
I want to know
I love it.
Who you are behind the mask.
Yeah. Thank you.
Dude,
that means a lot to me.
Dude, yeah. Well,
you know?
I mean, relationships for me is, you know, and even this podcast is getting to know the person. And, you know, I love relationships. It's what it's all about for me. The more friends I have in my army, the better I am as a person. So I always have thought that and love people. I love to love people. I know it's kind of a goofy thing to say, but I'm a promoter too, like you at heart. You know, I'm a champion for my friends. I'm a champion for music. I'm a champion for all these things. And so I definitely can relate to that for sure. Dude, well, I
feel that from you, by the way, man. I know that you're like you're about, you're like, to me, you love the culture of what's happening in music, and like you want to hold that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Like it really means a lot to you, you know?
Yeah.
And you're in the way that you get yourself involved is by, like you said, promoting and like, hey, check this out. Here's an opportunity for you to talk about what you want to talk about, you know? And I think that's really badass, dude.
Thank you.
I always see
really
it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah,
man,
dude.
for real. I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
dude, I love your podcast. By the way, I was watching the Ken Andrews episode recently, and I know you were telling me how that was for you, and it's just cool. I mean, it's just like mind-boggling. I mean, I haven't watched obviously all the episodes, but is there some people that are just, and I'm not trying to call anyone out by any means, but is it a struggle for people to paint? Like, is it?
Oh yeah. My shit, it's not easy to do. It's just it's hard for me to do. But I think from what I hear, people are really nervous in the beginning. Like I had a person on a couple weeks ago, and I could see her jaw shaking because she was so nervous, you know? And I was like, okay, like I try to pay attention to shit like that.
Sure.
And the way that I help them feel comfortable is that I can reveal things about my own nerves and my own nervousness about being out there. And just, if I notice and feel that that's happening from them, I want to meet them in that spot, because that sucks to feel, you know? And maybe that's a people pleaser aspect of me. But I think that might be I think that right there might be a love thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like, because if they feel a little more comfortable, they're going to be able to talk more deeply, be entranced in the painting that they're doing, enjoy themselves with it, make mistakes, feel freedom, and then they'll be able to like express themselves in ways that they have never done ever. I guarantee it. Never.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like for some people that's riveting. I would say for everyone that's riveting, but for some people they get done and they're like, what was that? You know what I'm saying? So
totally. Absolutely.
And it's really cool, man. It's really cool.
That's beautiful. Do you have any dream guests that you'd love to have on?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to have Maynard James Keenan on that shit.
Dang,
from
dude.
Tool and Perfect Circle and Pussifer, like him, Trent Reznor. I want to have the deeper ones on there that I feel like I really relate to, you know. I'd love to have Matty Healy on there, 1975. That would be a riot. God damn, that would be so sick.
He's wild.
Who else would I just musicians, man. I just come from music, and it's just part of my
DNA,
part of my deal, you know.
Yeah, it is
big time, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, I know you can't predict the future, but what does the future look like for you personally?
Personally, shit. I think about that every day. Well, I'm hoping that Make It Perfect will keep going. And I know that it's a huge grind. And people don't realize, maybe you can relate to this, how much effort and energy it takes to keep this shit going. Mm-hmm. Like it takes a lot, dude. And I hope that I can have an opportunity to hire a couple people to help me consistently. And I want to incorporate more therapeutic, educational aspects that Make It Perfect. And I know that I've had interest from people to do like group Make It Perfect sessions and
That's
like
cool.
individual Make It Perfect sessions to help them process, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that is it's not art therapy, because a lot of art therapists, from what I know, are not doing the art with the person. Mm-hmm. So I think that I have a really, really cool model to help people process and come to their own conclusions about their life through making art and answering questions and being with someone doing that at the same time. So I think I'm going to start offering that. I mean, however that'll go. That way I can, you know, not do this completely for free. You know what I'm saying?
Totally can relate.
So I'm looking forward. Yeah, dude, for sure. Good Lord.
Well, Ryan, I'm super stoked to hang out with you, man. You're such a great dude, super talented. Ever since I've known you, you've always been so kind and sweet, and just an awesome dude overall. So I really appreciate your friendship and kind of bringing me behind the mask somewhat. Thank you so much. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening week in and week out. I really appreciate it, guys, so thank you dearly from the bottom of my heart. If you'd like to add me on Instagram and Facebook at The Rumors Are True Cast. If you'd like to like and subscribe, you know the drill. Also have a website, www.therumorsartruecast.com if you're interested in that. Thank you to Ryan Rado. Awesome conversation. Stoked to reconnect and be able to talk about your journey as well as what you've got going on lately. So thank you again for hanging with me, Ryan. Got some incredible artists on the horizon, guys, and you know it. Nostalgia is still a heck of a drug. The podcast is produced by Wesley Hill, artwork by Jared Chase Bowser, and music by Brian Jaron. This episode is dedicated to the memory of my dear friend, producer, and man of many talents, Brian Jaron.